You will be amazed, Prasenjit. The two numbers match.
Exactly the same.
The two numbers are exactly around the same.
Can I?
In other words, what are you? No, Prasenjit. In other words, you are taking from one side and you are giving to the other. This is politics.
Yes, but with due humility.
Dr. Balakrishnan.
Can I also suggest? Can I also suggest you make another calculation?
Can I come in?
No,
Can you make a calculation that if we get even half of the black money that is stashed away?
Sure. Let's do that.
How much else?
Sure, let's do that.
Food subsidy against fuel subsidy.
Sure, let's do
You bring
that.
back black money.
Sure, let's do that.
You stop the corruption scandal.
Sure, let's do that. You know, one second.
Resources. You will gain a lot of revenue.
You know something, I'll tell you one thing, divorce politics from economics, then I'll turn around and tell you, go ahead and carry out disinvestment, and then Prasenjit Bose, don't tell me disinvestment is bad. Let's carry out the disinvestment.
Correct.
You are opposing the disinvestment of companies like Nalco. No, that is a political hot potato for you. Cut subsidies.
If the left...
Cut subsidies, carry out disinvestment.
No. So, Arnab...
Bring back black money. We are agreed. Dr. Balakrishnan, your response.
Prasenjit, one question.
No, Dr. Balakrishnan. Dr. Balakrishnan's response first to Prasenjit Bose.
Yes.
No, Arnab, I also want to read...
Dr. Balakrishnan, please.
Yes, I basically believe that since diesel and petrol is almost entirely imported, there is absolutely no option but to raise the domestic price to be broadly in line with international prices. Now, this of course should be part of a larger restructuring in the economy, whereby the saving on the oil subsidy must be put into infrastructure in the economy, which is what really helps the poor the most.
Yes, Bejon Mishra, you wanted to come in.
Can you hear me, Mr. Goswami?
I can hear you. Go ahead, complete your argument. I can hear you loud and clear, sir.
Yeah, Arnab, the reason we supported the government in the early 90s
No, my question,
reforms...
My question to Dr. Balakrishnan, I'm repeating my question here. I'm repeating my question here, Dr. Balakrishnan.
Yes.
Would you agree here?
Yes, Mr.
Would you
Goswami.
agree with Prasenjit who defends food subsidies, while at the same time questioning why subsidies are being taken off on diesel? Would you agree with his line of thinking? That's a straight question to you, sir.
I couldn't hear the second part. Continue with the food subsidy, but?
No, continue with the food subsidy, but question why subsidies are being lifted in other areas.
Absolutely not. I mean, I think lifting the subsidy on diesel is completely the right thing to do. It's largely consumed by the middle and upper middle classes, and it should be put into infrastructure in the economy. That is what will help the poor the most.
Absolutely.
But where's the correlation here? It's not going into infrastructure in the economy. It's going into creating. It's going into creating unviable assets or no assets through the NREGA. 1 minute. It's not going into infrastructure.
Argument or no? No, but that
you see, let me just also mention
let us understand that
maintaining the oil subsidy is also weakening the economy.
No, I am looking for a direct correlation. Can anyone on the panel today who is supporting the increase in diesel, including Sohail said, draw a correlation for me right now that it is going to build the economy, build infrastructure? Abhay Ahmed, do you have proof it's going to build the infrastructure, build the economy, build roads? Can you draw that correlation, and we'll retreat on this argument?
No one is denying the fact.
Well, it's not a correlation, but the fact is that if you lift the diesel subsidy, the government will have more revenues to spend on infrastructure.
You also don't want to go the Greece way. You also don't want to go the European way. You also don't.
Arnab, can I come in, please?
There are many.
In fact,
I'd like Abhay Ahmed to complete. Please, I come back to you. Yes, Abhay Ahmed.
No, I said no one is denying the fact. I mean, it's a very simple answer. Yes, we need to get into infrastructure. Yes, we need to develop roads. Yes, we need to do all that. But it is not one or the other. I mean, you also don't need to ask, you need to ask a question, do we want to go where Greece is today?
No, this is...
And anyone who does not realize the rupee depreciation and the fiscal deficit and the interest rate collation, I am afraid does not really know basic or is not talking basic.
Subramaniam Swami,
There's
please.
no point making personal comments like Mr. Prasenjit knows the man on the road and we sitting somewhere don't know. I mean, that is absurd. I mean, I have been critical of this government for a lot of things. For the first time in the last 2 months, they are doing something which needs to be for the country, which needs to be acknowledged, and you must give them the credit. This is not, don't reduce it to a personal political debate.
No, but on an equal argument, why don't you criticize the other subsidies which are being increased by almost 500% in the last 8 years? Largely on creating unproductive assets. Why don't you take a position on that? Because it doesn't hurt the corporate sector. Subramaniam Swami wanted to respond to you. Subramaniam Swami.
Well, first of all, I want to know that this fuel hike, which is going to affect the transport sector, is going to affect the middle class who go to work from the suburbs. Instead of that, why don't you scrap NREGA, cash for transfer, participatory notes, auction coal, spectrum? You will have enough resources. The problem is that these people want soft options, and the middle class can't complain, so you pile it on them.
Pilot on the middle class. No, one second. A pilot on the middle class. I want to go back to the issue of correlation. There is a direct correlation. Now, Sohail Seth and Abhay Aima and Prakash Javadekar, the reason why you are taking a sort of very strong and strident position supporting the diesel hike is because this correlation is not hitting you. The money to subsidize the political schemes of the UPA government is being taken from the urban middle class, the salaried class of this country. It's been taken from the urban middle class, the 4% who pay taxes. The money is going from them.
We are opposing.
Arnab,
we are opposing.
Yes, Sohail.
The government.
I don't know about... Look, let me just reiterate what I said, and Professor Swami is right in a manner of speaking. The thing is as follows. If you don't reduce the deficit that we are burdened with, we are going to have long-term pain. A. B. You're absolutely right. We are not supporting the diesel hike. We are supporting the ability for governments to get rid of subsidies where subsidies are meaningless.
But the government is not getting rid of subsidies.
Creating long-term burdens of debt.
Correct.
But the government is not getting rid of subsidies. The government is increasing subsidies. I don't know what you're celebrating. The government is increasing subsidies.
The point I'm making is, Arnab, there's very little to celebrate, but when there is, let's celebrate.
No, but one second. The government is increasing subsidies.
That you need infrastructure.
1 minute.
The government is increasing subsidies, Sohail. Come on, don't put blinkers on. The government has increased subsidies 500%.
The government is increasing. Look, do you want a situation where and I forget the oil companies, I don't want Prasenjit Bose to give me the same old leftist argument, so forget the oil companies for a minute. Do you believe, as Abhay in his earlier analogy rightly did the breakup of diesel consumption, do you actually believe that the farmer and the poor are the only people going to be impacted? No. The consumption largely lies elsewhere. A. B. Where is the consumption and why is the consumption happening in such a reckless manner? It's because for the last couple of years, whether it's this government or the other one,
I think let me tell you one thing.
Let me
tell you one thing. Sohail, I must correct you. Sohail, I'll tell you what.
Raise the railway fares, you abuse them again.
Sohail, I'll tell you 4 reasons. Prasenjit can elaborate more. If I am not mistaken, hike in diesel price by 1 rupee has a direct impact on inflation. 12 to 15 basis points. There is an indirect impact also, so the total impact is almost double. There is a much larger cascading impact. Abhay is an economist, he knows. I don't know why Abhay is not acknowledging that today. It will increase the price of food and goods transported as well. I don't know why Abhay is also not looking at that. Abhay knows more than anyone else on this panel that this will have a tremendous impact on inflation. And by the way, it is a 4.7% on wholesale price index inflation. Abhay knows that as well. But because it doesn't hurt Abhay, and it doesn't hurt Sohail Seth, you don't care.
No, Arnab, you have to understand.
Abhay, that's true.
No, that's a very unforgiving remark. It's not that we don't care.
80% of the...
Arnav, I want to intervene.
No, let Abhay tell us why he doesn't care today.
I want to interview.
80% of the crude that is imported directly correlated to the rupee dollar. Rupee dollar let me put it as simply, directly correlated to the fiscal deficit, the balance of payment, the current account deficit. So if your rupee dollar goes up by 25%, which is an effect of, I mean, it's not a complicated mathematical calculation. So it's nothing to do with what Abhay is using and what someone else is not using. It is purely to do with the fact that if you get your fiscal deficit under control, by all means, by other subsidies also. But you know, it is...
How will you get your fiscal deficit under control? How will you get your fiscal deficit under control?
Because they have also introduced, your maths is slightly wrong, because they have also introduced that the bulk consumers, the offset in the three LPG cylinders, 6,000 crore, can almost get offset by the bulk import.
Abhay, I'm looking at the big picture, and my figures are not at all wrong. Let me tell you. You know more than anything else. You are selectively looking at the facts today. NREGA under the UPA government, in 2006-7 was some 8,000-9,000 crores. I think in the last fiscal it was budgeted 40,000 crores. You know, right? Where is the fiscal prudence?
That's it.
Where is the fiscal prudence? Mr. Dr. Swami, am I wrong? Where is the fiscal prudence?
There's no fiscal prudence at all. The fiscal deficit is now 6% of GDP, and if you add the state's deficit, it's over 12%. We are in the Brazilian class.
And overnight you realize you've got...
we are going to be declared as junk bonds.
No, overnight you realize you've got FRBM targets, you know, you have to show some prudence before the budget. So how do you do it? You tell oil marketing companies, okay, deregulate. And then you cover that under the announcement of LPG, so you call it partial deregulation. Then later in the evening you say you can increase 50 paisa per day, per month. So you're trying to sugarcoat a bitter pill. Dr. Balakrishnan, people are going to see
they've run out of ideas.
Prasenjit Bose raised that. Prasenjit Bose, what is this?
Yeah, you see, first of all, I think that, you know, there are too many confusing views that are coming. The first point is that you have a very difficult fiscal situation. Why is it the case? Because you are having that because you're getting Dr. Swami and others are getting the cause and effect wrong. You look around countries across the world, including the United States, you have fiscal deficits much higher than 5%, 6%. That is because there is a global economic crisis. That global economic crisis, please let me finish. I am not interrupting anybody, so please don't give me gyan when I am speaking.
America's crisis was due to derivatives. It's got nothing to do with deficit. It's got to do with financial derivatives if you don't know.
It is a crisis, yes, I know. But now since there is a crisis, they are trying to expand their deficit and prime the economy and bring the economy out of the recession, Dr. Swami. So you have across the world fiscal deficits of much higher magnitude being run by various economies. It is quite natural in a recession, number one. Number two is that the question you are posing, I find it to be very funny. You are pitting NREGA food subsidy against fuel subsidy. I am asking you this simple question. Do you think that the government only spends on food subsidy and fuel subsidy? The government spends on many other things.
Yeah, sure.
Which are many, you know, there is corruption, which is money going
so what
down
about
the drain.
Food subsidy?
Then the government also has revenue.
No, what about food subsidy? No, what about food subsidy?
In a country where people die of hunger, you have to have food subsidy.
Oh, really?
In a country
there's no corruption? There's no, one second. Now I'll have to ask you a few straight questions.
Corruption. You check corruption, but don't stop the money.
No, 1 second. How are you tolerating corruption?
I'm not opposed to I'm not in favor of corruption.
Prasenjit, be reasonable. Be reasonable, Prasenjit. There is corruption in the public distribution system. Be reasonable. Listen to my words.
Yes, so
there is corruption.
The public distribution system.
There is corruption or not? There is corruption or not in the public distribution system?
Yes, there is.
Okay, so 1 minute. I'm going to make a few points. You tell me, Arnav, you are right or wrong. My second point to you is 45% of the food grains go down the drain because of corruption. Am I right or wrong?
45% I don't know, but yes, a big
45%.
section goes down the drain because of corruption.
So
yes.
that is corruption you'll tolerate. Who funds the corruption,
less,
please?
But whatever.
No, does the salaried urban middle class... who funds the corruption?
No. Wait. I will point, Arnab, that is the fallacy, that is the fallacy.
What kind of argument is this?
I want...
No, Arnab.
The argument is very simple. You get rid of corruption, but don't get rid of the subsidy. You use
astonishing.
You make the system
It's astonishing.
more effective so that the corrupt... No, it's not astonishing. You are getting you're conflating two arguments. I am opposed.
I have heard you.
I'm not against subsidy.
Can I come
Number
in?
one.